Right, hey everyone. Today I'm going to quickly show you how to do a middle. I'm going to do like a middle border around here. A row for each colour that I've got, so that should be 4 rounds. But I'll only show you the first 2 rounds. The first round being to try and square up the edge. Yeah, to square up this edge, and the second one will be just similar, but you'll be working into the actual stitches from the first round, and then you just repeat it again for a couple more rounds. This bit will be up to you how big you want. You can stop after one round or 2 rounds, so you can decide that yourself. Like I've said in the previous episodes for this series, it's all about just learning the different stitches and different ways of doing different things. So as I've turning it into like a square, what I've gone and done is in the middle, when we were putting the borders on these squares, we've been putting 3 into the corners. So what I've done is, once I've actually joined them all together, I'm about to start this. The middle one of every corner that I've got, I've put a stitch marker in to actually say that's the middle stitch. The only differences on this one this is where I'm going to start. I'm going to start in my first corner, so it's easier to finish on and start. That's just my preference. You can do the same, or you could start halfway through a square if you wanted to. But for this round, all you need to do is slip stitch your chosen colour yarn into the first chain that you need to do and chain 1. Once you've done that, we'll then need to put 2 trebles, a chain 2, and 2 more trebles into that first stitch. And that's going to be a corner space. And now all we're going to do is put 1 treble into every stitch all the way across until you get to the end of that first square, and I'll show you how to kind of hop over the seam. So hopefully this straighten it up a bit. Yeah, I'm just putting 1 treble on in because I think that might work. Don't need it to do anything fancy really. So I'm getting there to where the border is. So by the look of it, I've got 1 more. 1 second, I'll just zoom in a little bit. 1 more, because this chain space here is already being occupied. Oh gee, I'm pulling in through my hands here. It's already being occupied from the seam. So what I'm going to do is do 1 treble into the next stitch, which is the last working stitch, like so, and then just hop over to the next one. How's that? Let's have a look, see if that's worked. No, it hasn't. So it looks like we're gonna have to actually put a treble into the actual bit where it's like that, and a treble into the same one, into the opposite one. like that. And that, look at it, has actually, yeah, so you will need to put a treble into, there'll still be a little bit of a gap, but don't worry about that too much. And then just carry on. See, I have put a treble into the both the chains that the seam is finishing up in. So you will need to do that all the way along, just to keep it a little bit more straight. So yeah, but if you don't think yours needs it, you don't have to. You can, even if you don't like that little hole, put one into the actual seam itself. But that's up to you. So just put one in every single chain, and avoiding the seam itself. And I'll meet back up with you at the next corner. So I've just done the first round. I'm coming up to my next space where I'm going to put corner. It will go in a little dip here towards where the edges are, but the next round should hopefully straighten it up a bit and tighten it up a bound. You won't notice it too much once we actually get on to joining the other squares. So when you do get into your corner space, we're just going to repeat what we did in this corner space here by putting 2 trebles, chain 2, and 2 more trebles into that space, like so. And then what we're just going to do is repeat what we've done along this side, until we get to the next corner, and where we'll do what we've just done here. Put 2 trebles, chain 2, 2 more trebles, work along this side, and then get to the next corner. We'll put 2 trebles, chain 2, 2 trebles, and work all the way along back to the starting point. And I'll meet back up with you once we get to here. Right, so I've just come to the end of that round, and I've slip stitched, and I'm going to tie off because I'm going to swap colours. If you've decided not to swap colours, you can carry on. You can just get that out of the way. Don't worry too much if it's starting to curl on you a little bit. We'll straighten that bit out in a minute. So that's what mine's starting to roughly look at the moment. I'm going to start bringing in my next colour. I'm going to, again, start in my chain 2 space. But if you're not changing colour, what you can do is slip stitch, chain 1, and either... and chain 1, and then do 2 trebles, and then you'll be at the chain 2 space. Or you can slip stitch twice and start in the chain 2 space. But I've decided I'm going to put as much colour into this as possible and use the yarn that I've got. So that's why I'm changing every row pretty much. So once you've got your... So that's the establishing row for this round. For that inner edging. And the next 3 rows are going to be exactly the same as this row. So if you want to do more rows, or if you just want to do the 2 rows that I'm showing you, that's fine. You can do as many rows as you want. So it's up to you really. So anyway, what I'm going to do is just literally slip stitch and chain 1. If it'll go in, there we go. I'm just pull that tight, and then every row is going to get exactly the same in every single corner, like the last row did. Two trebles, chain 2, and 2 more trebles into that space. Now this is how your rows are going to grow pretty much, because you're adding, in theory, an extra few stitches every corner. And then, like on the previous row, it's pretty much exactly the same as the row you just did before, apart from you won't have these edges from when you joined your squares before. You'll just have the actual stitches. So I'm just doing 1 treble in every stitch until the end of all the way around, and then, like I've said, every corner is going to get exactly the same, and that's 2 trebles and a chain 2 space. Hopefully it will start straightening up a bit more on this round. But because I've got 4 different colours, I'm going to be doing 4 different rounds just to kind of keep up with the theme of the colours that I'm using. So if we just do 1 treble into every stitch until the next corner space, and I'll make back up with you. Right, I've just got to my chain 2 space, and as you can see, it has starting to straighten that up. I'm doing that. Yes, I have started getting a bit of a gap here, but I don't mind that too much. So what I'm now going to do is repeat. Sorry about that. So yeah, I've just got to my chain 2 space, so I'm going to repeat what I did in this corner and then in this corner, which is 2 trebles, chain 2 and 2 more trebles, like so. And now I'm just gonna do 1 treble in every stitch all the way around and follow this process. We're putting 2 trebles, chain 2, 2 trebles into each corner space all the way back, and I'll meet back up with you at the starting point.